So good day everybody, 28th of August 2023. I got off at Pershamyskaya station here. And it's really a small station, not much going on here. Mostly peaceful place. At least on this side, if you exit from the metro, say right here, or on this side, and then you have a nice walking path here and nice scenery, and you can walk along the river here for quite a while. I kind of really want to do that, but I've been here before. I'm taking you for a walk, and there's a bridge. I went to the other side and saw, I think it was a Chinese-run hotel over there. Very, very nice. But I'm wondering if I should walk up on the street here, probably a little bit louder. As much as I would really like to go along the path on the river here. There's a walking path, bicycle path. A lot of bicycle paths in Minsk. So let's see what's going on over here. It looks like they need to mow the grass over here. I don't know, it doesn't look too interesting, just a lot of loud traffic here. I might just turn back, But I found some very interesting things in the news. And I'll get to that as soon as I find out where I'm going. Loud tractor. I tell you what, I don't think I want to go this way. It looks like there's a stadium over there. Sports stadium. A big one. I think I'll go back, cut across the grass here, shortcut, and go along the path on the river. Yeah. Some of the latest news I just saw, just some minutes ago, Gabon in Africa, they suspended French broadcasting. So I think it was the re-election of the head of state, the president. I didn't catch his name. Don't know much about that place. And he got re-elected for another term, 7 years. Seven-year term. And I believe it was Gabon that suspended the French media broadcast, so they're not broadcasting there anymore. So it's another friendly country to France. I guess a lot of them are looking at how they've been exploited for all those years. If you go by the example of Niger, whatever. Some people, looks like the other side is a lot nicer. People picnicking and things over there. You probably can't see it, it's too far away. Okay. Anyway, that was just about Gabon. I have other news. I don't know about Africa. I wrote this stuff down yesterday, so I don't know so much of all of what I was saying. But there's been a lot of talk recently about, with the death of these higher commanders of Wagner and organizers, owners, not really, well, kind of owners, funders, that the talk is that it might disintegrate, and that it was even Jackson Hinkle had seen that somewhere, that they're going to assimilate all of the soldiers back into the Russian military, or into the military. But you know, I don't think so. A lot of them are foreigners. There's some Americans even there. They're not going to be going into the Russian military, I don't think. And Lukashenko just yesterday cleared that up. He was giving a press conference, standing press conference. He kind of tortures himself sometimes. He stands up for long periods of time and talking to a lot of the press. Putin, I think, does that as well. You know, has long. So I wouldn't want to do that. Biden, he doesn't do that. He doesn't last very long. if he can get a couple sentences out that anybody can understand. So, wow, it's dark here. Going under the traffic underpass here. Okay, but yeah, Lukashenko said they're going to stay in Belarus. Wagner stays in Belarus. We'll see. Yeah, this was just Saturday he said that. It didn't say yesterday, did it? Day before yesterday. Yeah, he said it's staying here in Belarus. At least a sizable group, obviously. I think he was mentioning something like 8,000, and some people are saying, aha, look, from the satellite photos, some of the tents are being disassembled and taken away. But yeah, he was giving a little talk about that, something about, I don't know. See, this whole idea about the tents, for one thing, they don't need that many tents. And another thing is, they may not be permanently always staying in tents. These are supposed to be kind of high-paid military people. And look at the American military. They don't stay in tents. They stay in tents when they go into field operations, and that's it. So Wagner, you know, kind of a special group. So I'm not gonna say 100% either way if they're gonna stay permanently in tents. But if they're making decent money, I'm sure some of them want to go and buy lands and properties and things. I really don't know. I'm not in Wagner. I can't really report on everything about them. But he said Belarus will take care of Wagner, and Wagner will take care of Belarus. He's talking about them being actually decent people. So, nothing more to say about that, I suppose. Okay, now, that film, I mentioned that before. It's very, you know, it's The Sound of Freedom. Controversial. Jim Caviezel, you know, the main actor, now the woke Democrat left weirdos, well, Mel Gibson would call them weirdos. He says they're weird. These kind of people are weird. But I tell you what, a lot of them are not weird. I mean, they're weird, but they're a lot worse than that, a lot of these people. He has been calling them weird for decades. You know, Mel Gibson was way ahead of his time, talking about all these nutcases and the woke Democrat left. Anyway, yeah, it's being attacked. The Sound of Freedom is being attacked by the loony, totally corrupt woke left. These are very corrupt people. These are real disgraceful people. Let me walk up this way. So one of the reasons why they're really going after it now is right before Trump got indicted, he hosted a showing of The Sound of Freedom at his golf club. So just because of that, they really went after The Sound of Freedom even more so, because they equate that with Donald Trump. And this Jim Caviezel, the main actor, he was also in Passion of the Christ. Passion of the Christ is, I guess that's one of the highest that is the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. The box office, the highest grossing box office R-rated movie of all time. But yeah, they're trying to equate Jim Caviezel, the main actor who played Jesus in the movie, of course, with QAnon because he was talking about, you know, like this, let's see, I think I wrote it down here. He talked about some of these WF types of people, and one of them is in the WEF, and I've even seen reports on this myself. I saw something like this 2 years ago, that there are these rich people, billionaires, millionaires, you know, sitting on their yachts, and they have some sort of a belief that they have to continually get blood transfusions from young people. The guy that I saw, whoever it was, and he sat there and admitted it, and he has young girls. I think, as far as he was concerned, I think these girls were like 16 and 17, and he uses them, and apparently willingly, for blood transfusion. So he switches off getting blood from all these young girls. I don't know, but there's a lot of these people, and I'll tell you what, they're trying to make Jim Caviezel look like he's some kind of a conspiracy theorist, but this stuff has been going on since even World War II. The nasties were doing that. They were taking young Belarusian children, and they were using it for they were using them for like blood donors. I don't know if that was concerning people that needed blood, from the war. When you get wounded and you lose a lot of blood. I don't know exactly. I just know that they were taking children, especially small children, and using them for their blood, the nasties. And I think it was the German nasties, although the place I heard that at was an area that the Ukrainian nasties, had massacred the entire village. So you had both of these, it was like hand in hand, those from Ukraine and those from Germany that were doing a lot of these massacres. I think 200 villages, I mentioned that in one film when I went to gosh, what is the name of that town? I don't even remember anymore. That's shameful. But they just, over 200 towns disappeared in Belarus, completely disappeared, because they massacred all the people from it. And maybe, of course, some of them obviously would have gotten away. One guy survived from one town. He was visiting some other town for some odd reason. He came back and everybody was gone. They were mostly all of them burned alive. They took some. A lot of times they were taking like the best Belarusians, and they would transport them to Germany and use them for, I don't know, maybe their engineering skills and things like that. Belarus was known for having good engineers back in those old days. Oh, look at this building. There's an area there with no windows or anything. Makes me wonder what that part is. Ah, very curious, huh? Engineering. Just talking about engineering now. I'm not sure which way I'll go. I'm not so much into, believe it or not, sports. There's a sports stadium here. I'll show you. I do sports on my own, not real sports. I stay in shape. I do exercises and jogging and all that. If I didn't, I'd probably be a big fat lazy guy. Not that big, but fat and lazy. Well, I guess in weight I'd be bigger. I don't know, I don't want to go here, but I'll just show you the stadium. Get close enough to where you can see it over there. Okay, talk a little bit more about this film here. Yeah, a lot of this woke left knucklehead weirdos. I believe Oprah Winfrey is one of them, and they're talking about this film, even though it just brings to light, this child sex trafficking. Even though there's all kinds of trafficking of children for organs and blood and who knows what, but yeah, they're saying, I think they're trying to find some grounds to say, oh, that's disgusting. But then again, what about this film Cuties? Where they had these mostly naked little girls twerking, and they call it whining in the Caribbean, whining, with their pelvis and doing sexual moves and stuff when they're 8 years old or 7 or something like that. I don't know. All kinds of these young ages, not even yet teenagers. So, and they thought that was great. They thought that was a great film, but yet this film, Sound of Freedom, they want to attack it. So, yeah, they love that one, and I think a lot of that is probably that because they like that film Cuties. There's a lot of people talking about a move to get us to accept pedophiles as normal people. Like, oh, they have rights too. The maps, minor attracted persons. You see that there's a movement for that all over the place. Terrible. I mean, I tell you, this is really, this stuff is going crazy. You know, you have this LGB something, LGBTQ, so it's a lesbian, binary, gay, wait a minute, LG, what is this, G, what is G? Lesbian, gay, yeah, yes, lesbian, gay, G, binary, trans, queer, and then you have U for Ukraine, LGBTQ, U, and then there might be P for pedophiles. So that's what they're probably trying to add them, that they're just cool people and they're going to get more rights than, you know, like all these other groups already have more rights than, what do you call them, straight people or heteros? Heteros, bunch of evil people. Jeez. Makes you really wonder. And then they can't wonder why a lot of these people are trying to come to Belarus and to Russia, where they're trying to hold these values. There's even places in Africa, as you know, I think there was two countries that will not accept this LGBTQ and all this other crap, and the World Bank, IMF and all are cutting them off. They're saying you're not getting any more loans unless you welcome with open arms gay, trans, queer, homosexuality sort of stuff into your country. And then if you think of Russia, they never outlawed this stuff. They outlawed the promotion of this stuff. You cannot promote homosexuality. You cannot promote, you know, all of this stuff. But I tell you what, I've seen them in Belarus. I've seen two girls, you know, in the same train car. I got in the same cabin, you know, with their arms around each other and, you know, sleeping there. And obviously, I won't go into any describing them or nothing, but anyway, they were, and I've seen others here, so no big deal. I don't even know. I doubt that the promotion of it is legal here either. Ah, somebody is mowing the grass here. Castanian tree. This is what I said when I said they're already, their leaves are turning brown already. They dropped their nuts. Reached puberty, dropped their nuts there, I guess. So, yeah, but yeah, they're going after Jim Caviezel. Yeah, you know, they went after Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, he didn't make this movie, but I think he promoted the movie. So obviously they're against Mel Gibson. Anything Mel Gibson does, they kind of go after him. But I think, what did he say, sugar tits or something like that? And when he was drinking, he said he has a drinking problem. He always admits whenever he makes a mistake. You know, he wouldn't make a good politician. You know how politicians are. That's a no-no for a politician. You have to have never made a mistake in your entire life to be a great politician. What is that over there? It's written in a weird script. So I don't know. Well, let's go walking through here. See what's going on. Maybe it looks kind of like a clinic. This guy's getting in his car. Let me go around him. But another thing, can you look at this? It's I don't know if this is a library or I have to go in here. I wonder if it's a bookstore of some sorts. I'll tell you what, they probably just, since I don't see a lot of people going in there, I would just bet that maybe they bind books. Lots of action around here. Too much action for me. Let me get out of here. Cars, people. Yes, but these people, they're all acting like agents. They're acting like agents for, like I said, for this coming acceptance of pedophiles into to be seen as valued members of our society. Gosh. I already mentioned that. There's another thing I wanted to talk about. There's a guy, and this is, I've been reading about him in various other places, and I think I have him listed that I didn't mention yesterday, the last film. So let's go back here. Since Brazil is refusing to send weapons to Ukraine, you can see how this pressure is going on all these countries to send weapons to Ukraine. And Brazil, look at where they're at. And since they don't want to send weapons to Ukraine, they have this one guy, and he's an economist actually. He works for NATO. His name is Gunther Fehlinger. You have to look him up in Google. Gunther, I think you can do it without the umlauts above the U. Gunther Fehlinger, Fehlinger, Gunther Fehlinger. Gunther Fehlinger. And this guy, he is listed as being president of the NATO EU Development Committee. And what he is, it's for the expansion of NATO. He's the guy in charge of the expansion of NATO, development committee. He said, of course, well, he said it's about all these countries in BRICS. Talking about to dismantle Brazil from the corrupt socialist leader Lula. Yeah, he chairs the committee for NATO enlargement. There's no bread. Looks like a big bakery here. Look at this. They have a symbol of grain, wheat or something, or barley on here. I smell some bread. I smell yeast. So, but this Gunther Fehlinger, the shocking thing is, I was looking him up, and then I saw some other ads recently put up on Telegram about this guy, and there was somebody saying that this guy's a real Nazi, but I don't know if I would call him a Nazi. I would call him like an extreme neocon, because I think Nazis, they talk about the extermination of other ethnic groups. He doesn't really talk about that. He talks about basically destroying countries and dividing them up, but not necessarily killing everybody. And I think I always equate Nazis as trying to eliminate anybody who does not want to be their slaves, so to speak, or get down under them. So he's not really that. He's kind of an extremist neocon. But you have to see what this whole office is all about. To me it was very shocking. If you look at all these countries, he's from Linz, Austria, and he's also called like a expert on Eastern Europe, advisor for NATO, and he calls for the destruction of not just these original BRICS, but also Iran, and then of course it includes the original BRICS, India, Brazil, South Africa, and anybody that wants to go into that, and starting with Russia. Good luck on that one. I guess that's what they're doing right now. So, and he's calling them, all these countries, genocide deniers, so he's trying to say like, the opposite of being a Nazi, and that they're all corrupt. All these leaders are corrupt, including Modi of India and Ramaphosa of South Africa. Lula da Silva was the only one that he called a socialist. So, I guess that's a big insult as well. Belarus might be joining, and I kind of would say Belarus leans more to being a socialist country, but all of these countries, everything is a hybrid. Everything is a hybrid. 26th of October, look at this. 1941. So I don't want to sit here struggling through those words. Might get some wrong anyway, and I wouldn't know what they are. I can maybe sound them out, but wouldn't know what they mean. But anyway, he split all these countries. And the thing that really got me is this guy. He has made I would call this like a NATO think tank planning department, because they have all these countries, Russia, and they have them divided up into all sorts of mega small countries. It's the balkanization of all of these countries, and of course particularly Russia, because that's what the whole goal is anyway, to basically divide up all of these countries to make them weaker, so that the West can dominate them much more easily. And it's really something. You have to, if you look up this guy Gunther Fehlinger, look up him online, and they have a lot of these maps. He proudly displays all of his maps of how he's going to divide up all these countries, and he has their flags and everything. This is a process that must have taken, I would imagine, maybe years, dividing all these things up into ethnic groups and all. It's strange that they didn't divide up the United States into ethnic groups, or some of these other countries, or maybe even Germany. They can, like I said in the last video, or one of the last videos, Germany, you have the Swabs, the Swabian people, and the Berliners, and Nordrhein-Westfalen people, the Plattdeutsch, and all of these people. You can divide all them up too. Why doesn't he divide all them up? Why is it only just the opposing side, instead of, it's divide up the other team? And then he I don't know, let me go on here what he said here about this. He's not hearing the news. He talks about all these people being corrupt, but he hasn't been seeing the news about Biden, I guess. When you want to talk about corruption, what about Ukraine? Yeah. He said these divided successor states will be integrated into the free world of federal market democracies. Yeah. Like I say, this guy's more of like a neocon. It sounds a lot more like neocon, but there's not that big of a difference really. A couple of little differences between neocons and neo-nasties, and maybe even the neoliberals. They all want to dominate. They're all out for conquest. They're all imperialistic. They share all that together. And then you see some place like Russia or Modi, India, all of these countries, they try not to expand their borders. But then you get somebody like the United States who comes up with these provocations like they did with Ukraine, to where, like say, Russia they have to, quell these problems on their border. And I don't think they actually intended on absorbing Ukraine. However, these other places, like say, as the Donbass and I have to include even Odessa. These were all at one time Russian. These are ethnically Russian people. What kind of a flower is that? So I actually think that they would make a mistake if they did not absorb these places, Odessa and Crimea, and they all voted to become a part of Russia anyway. So yes, democracies. What did Benjamin Franklin say about democracies? How maybe the democracies that old Fehlinger's talking about. Democracy is 2 wolves and 1 sheep deciding on what's for dinner, and that's a very good representation of that. Is him talking about democracy. The wolves, dividing up all the other countries. Sounds like wolves, having sheep for dinner. Then there's Jungle Joseph Borrell. He's even insisting that the sanctions have weakened Russia. I'm sure Alex Christoforo probably caught that one. They're in tatters, I tell you. No, I think that was Ursula von der Leyen. You know, you have to realize, that was, what was that? He had mentioned, I did see one of his videos a couple days ago, and Baerbock, she's still insisting that Russia's using computer chips from washing machines. Gosh, I guess she's a hard learner. She's a hard study, I don't know. Man alive. I should go over here, it's a little bit, I'll sit on a bench. Not a lot more to talk about. I don't know, it makes you wonder, these guys, they don't get out, you know? Yeah, and like Alex Christoforo, he did say, I saw this video this morning, he's talking about all the rest of the world laughing at the EU and their great sanctions that Borrell said have been working so well to destroy Russia. And I think it was even, get these guys' names, Bodanov saying that Russia has been destroyed economically and militarily. So I wonder, well, it should be easy to get rid of them off of their former territory then, but I guess, I don't know why you can't. But in Hungary, of course, the leader of Hungary and the foreign minister, they don't agree with Borrell. They don't think it's the sanctions have hurt Russia at all. They say exactly the opposite. And Putin had said to Borrell that Russia is going to handle anything that the EU can throw at it. Ooh. I think old Borrell has been spending way too much time in his flower garden. Methinks. Yeah, the sanctions, in truth, have boomeranged. And some of the last news that I'm hearing a lot about, this Margarita Simonyan, she's the CEO of RT and foreign broadcasting, has been saying that Tucker Carlson has asked to interview Vladimir Putin, and it looks like, I'll tell you what, I think that's going to happen. She's excited about that. Tucker Carlson, I think he's the only one that's brain is still working out of all these people that have been working in the mainstream news. So, yeah, I think that's going to happen. That's going to be interesting. Okay. So, I don't know. I don't think I have any more news really to report. This is kind of a short video. And like I said, this was the Pershamaiskaya metro stop, and instead of going along the lake, I only went partway along the lake, and then I came up here and just showing you this neighborhood. I've never been here before. It's all new stuff. So anyway, that's about all I have to say for today. Well, while walking around making my last video, I discovered a huge area, party place area. Here's some places here. And over here, I guess you have to walk around for that. Some pretty girls. So. Oh, Burger Lab. Uh-oh. Just realized there's music there. I better get, hopefully it didn't come out. Hope nobody saw that. Looks like a hair place. Nice hair. Oh, I wonder how this looks at night with the lights here. Look at that. Monkey Brothers. Italian restaurant over there. Rocket Hub startup. Tech place. Let's walk down here. Obviously, that's very early right now, so nobody's doing anything. Moby Dick. This place, Sharma, not open. I don't even know. How many party places are there in Minsk? I keep running into these places. Big area over here. Well, I don't know how far down this goes. I'll just take a walk and show you. Looks like a new one coming up here. Gosh, look at all the hamburgers. Not so bad prices even. $4. A lot of girls taking their pictures though. Miller beer. I hope they don't have that stuff here. Now there's a better one, Olivaria. You know, I never expected that there'd be anything here. So I guess there's a bar up this way too. Vice City Bar. And here's a barber shop. Gee, they're all over the place. So let me just keep walking here. Yeah, well, my other video that I just made, I don't know if I'm going to put this one onto that video, but I was just mostly talking about that Gunther Fehlinger, a very strange guy. What is this? Open at 12:30. It's a bar as well. There's a bar up here that's already open. Looks like this one's not. Coffee place. Oh, it is open. People are in there. Coffee. There may be more down the road, but I don't want to go down there. Video. If I make this in one video, it'll be too long. Let's just see what this is. It's called Let It Be. English words as you see. Let It Be Cafe. Gosh, there's even more. Should I walk over that way or not? Well, you know, I did another video, showing a party place, but that one got deleted because I talked about some laboratories in a country south of Belarus. They didn't like that, YouTube, so they deleted that. I was walking around in another party area, so I guess I cannot say that I have so many of these party videos. Gosh, can't I get through here? Looks like it's blocked. No, maybe not. Dreva. Like I say, I wonder what this place is like at nighttime. Oh, I missed something. I was right over here and I missed it. I missed it, so I have to cross the street here. Luckily, nothing's going on. What would anything be in a showing former Soviet states without having this guy in there? Old Vladimir. Okay, let me go across the street again. Oh, those same girls. I guess I'm following them around. Probably rather look at them than me. I don't know, is that place sale or rent? Well, there was one place that looked very nice that I didn't show you. Oh, there's one right through here. Wow. Too bad you can't see it. It's just too much. Looks like a Chinese restaurant. Probably nice lamps lit up at nighttime. Oh, maybe I can look through here. Oh, here we go. I never expected this. So much. Looks like they have sandwiches, pomegranate, coffee, cake. And of course beer. So, anyway. Fascinating. It's not that far from where I live, so maybe I have to come here sometime. And I don't know, I'm not a night person. It'd be interesting going around here at nighttime and seeing all the people running around. So anyway, that's about it for this time, and like I said, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you. You can't see me. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.